to this game by somebody from the Messenger community. It came out around late January, and I don't know. I'm a huge fan of retro-styled indie games, so I decided I was going to pick it up on a whim, like after it was recommended to me, and I've really enjoyed the game since. I've just been playing it like crazy. The speedrun community for it is really active, and it's just been a lot of fun, like slowly working on my time and improving it. It's a very, very brutal game, though. It's very easy to have a death that costs you several minutes.
Okay, fair,
So,
fair.
Hopefully we won't have too much of that during this run, but
Okay,
you never know. It's a kind of how it goes with hard games.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to move that. What about there? Okay. Cool. All right, and then so this is the any percent category. Does this game have more than that, or is that just kind of the main one everyone does right now?
There's low percent, any percent, and 100%. And I would say probably the most active right now is any percent, but there's people that are running 100% and low percent as well. Low percent is basically any percent just without picking up any of the SP upgrades or the health upgrades.
Okay, okay. All right, let's see here. If Libby Flam's ready to take over commentary, I'm going to let you run this show. Okay, I'm going to kick back here, folks, and let them do the thing.
All right, so we good to go?
Yeah. Wait, he's got the timer, right? You got the timer?
I will get the timer right now. Close it from the posty one. Do.
I'm ready for you. It doesn't have timer ready.
Yeah, I saw that look. I was like, oh, no timer. Man, why not?
but why though?
Okay. All right, now the timer is ready. I want to get off this scene here because I'm not talking. There we go.
Just sit there and just stare directly into your camera the whole time.
All right, folks, they're going to take on over.
All right, I'm ready. So I guess on 3. So 3, 2, 1, go. So as I was saying, this game is Cyber Shadow. For anyone that has played Ninja Gaiden, I'm told it is very similar to that in regards to gameplay. Start off with just having the ability to jump and have slash, but we'll get some more abilities as we play a bit further into the game. One of or a couple of different tricks have already been discovered for this game. One of them is ledge boosting, where if you jump right as you're about to kind of walk off a ledge, you get boosted forward by the ledge. And another one is ledge clipping, which I will be using to take advantage of how this game does coyote jumps to jump a little higher than normally intended to clip up onto platforms that are above me. We'll see a couple of examples of that in this stage here. So for ledge boosting, you'll actually see there's like a special animation that kind of kicks out around your feet whenever you get it. So I'll be making a couple attempts at that just to save a little bit of time throughout the run. I think each one that you do ends up saving like 3 or 4 frames, so it adds up throughout the run.
Plus the jams.
The music in this game is so good. Also, that robot there, that's Legion. We're gonna be seeing him a couple times. He usually just drops his health. You can flash him if you want. We don't really need the health, so we just kind of hit him sometimes if we're bored. So a lot of this game is actually very cycle based too. So this stage in particular, you'll notice that we have like these steam pipes here that are going to kick up. This entire room is based on a global timer, so based on how fast I go, those steams will be at a different location. So ideally, I want to be consistent through the rooms so that I know what's going to be coming up. Same with these rotating platforms here. They're also on a global timer. We're coming into our first boss here in just a moment. So we got Smasher here. Gotta be careful not to be standing in the center when Smasher drops down, or you will instantly die. Definitely haven't done that before.
No, not at all. Not you.
Not at all, no.
You're professional here.
So, some of the bosses in this game will drop boss HPs, which is what happened there. It basically just gives you a full HP bar, which is a lot better than just like picking up the HP upgrades. So we're pretty much exclusively going to be picking those up for our health. This room here is a bit tight. I need to make a very particular cycle, so I can't really make much mistakes in the beginning. If I get it right, I will just barely catch this platform here. And then... Oh, okay, I made a mistake, so I'm not going to make the best possible cycle. That's okay, though. So we're getting the second cycle. That is going to change this upcoming part a little bit, so hopefully I'll still be able to get this damage boost that's coming up. Okay, I didn't want to risk it, so we're just going to wait a little bit. Ideally, I'd be going up on the top platform there. And we're going to see our first example of ledge clipping here in a second. I'm actually going to use it on these rotating platforms. So let's see if I can get this. So I ended up jumping up to that platform by doing a ledge clip. You normally would not be able to make that. That only works on 60 hertz. So if you're actually playing on PC, you have to limit your monitor's frame rate to 60, or else you cannot make those sledge clips.
I refuse.
It definitely feels a lot better on higher frame rates, but...
I'm never going back, man! This is boss number 2, yeah?
So this is Apparitor. We're just going to kind of stand right beside him and get a couple free hits in while he's doing some attacks. Take a couple damage boosts. I'm not going to get the best possible fight here because I actually missed some slashes, but we'll get a close to perfect fight. Overall, that was a pretty good chapter 1. I would say that not too much really went wrong there. And now we're going to get our first ability, which is going to be the Shuriken. So one of the interesting things about this game, actually, is that it was designed with, like, NES controllers in mind. So almost every ability can be done with the D-pad and 2 buttons. So, like, for the Shuriken, I'm going to be holding, like, diagonally up and forward to throw shurikens. Alright, so this is the first SP upgrade I'm going to get. This is actually the only one I'm going to get the entire run. That'll just be used to use some abilities. Like, for example, shurikens actually use SP to be thrown. If you don't have SP, you cannot throw shurikens. Also, you may notice there's going to be a lot of damage boosting in this run, too, especially early on. Okay, so this part's pretty fun. We have this big laser that's shooting across the room. That laser will instantly kill me if it hits me. And, well, unless it catches the very tail end of it. So I got really
Fire!
lucky. I got really lucky there, if I'm being honest with you. You can die to that. I ended up damage boosting through the laser there, so I didn't die this time. And just barely avoided it that time. We're cutting it a little close, you know. Gotta keep it exciting.
With disaster here.
And so yeah, checkpoints you can also buy like items and stuff from. So I bought a blade extend, which increases my attack range. I'm using it to hit this boss's weak point in the center. And it just makes the fight go a lot quicker. Otherwise, you end up having to wait because those lasers will destroy the block platforms I was standing on to slash the boss. That by the way, that was a boss. He did die pretty quick, but...
No, I didn't see no boss.
And we were talking a little bit about auto-scrollers earlier and how they totally don't belong in games like this.
Yeah,
but,
here we go.
We have our first auto-scroller. So this is the elevator. And on release, this was a lot harder. So like this actually got nerfed. And there used to be a ton of bugs everywhere. not so much anymore, and I'm really glad there's not as many now because it's a lot easier. It's a little bit of a
Man,
break.
I was wondering that because I did play this on release, and then I've watched you been running it. I'm like, why is the elevator so easy for him?
You know, the funny thing is that like if you're playing on console, you actually still have the harder one too.
Well,
because console hasn't been updated yet. This is on 1.03. Eventually, 1.04 will be releasing on all consoles and PC at the same time, so everything will kind of be the same at that point. Otherwise, there's not really a difference on playing console versus PC. So yeah, we just get to relax here, slash some bugs and some blocks.
Just chill.
Lasers aren't too threatening because the blocks kind of block them for us. Now we got a longer cycle-based room here. So this room, I'm going to be attempting to get to the end before I have these set of blocks falling. It'll make more sense when I get there. There's a couple of blocks I have to use as platforms to get higher up. Okay, so this didn't go too bad. Actually went really good. So this is the blocks I was talking about here. You have to make sure you get to this at the correct time, or else you have to do a lot more waiting, because this laser up here will destroy one of the blocks on the right, and those are the important ones. All right, and now we're going into our fourth boss. This is Scrambler. If I position correctly, I won't get hit, but it's a little tricky to get this one. That's still pretty good.
Easy.
But wait, he's not dead. I definitely died to this. I definitely died to this my first time playing the game because I thought I was done with the fight, and then he just kind of showed up, like, and jumped at me, and I was not ready for it.
That's what happens.
I've actually watched a couple people play this their first playthrough, and I've seen so many people die to that. It's not even funny. There's Legion again. We're gonna slash Legion because we're not fans of robots here.
He just wants to give you story and health.
All right, so we got Chapter 3 now. Chapter 3, we now have access to... geez, I actually forget. What do I get from... Rising Fire, that's what we get. We get Rising Fire. So I was trying to think for a second.
The big DPS.
Yeah, it's basically like our best attack for the majority of the game. At least until a little bit later. So we'll end up using it a lot for bosses. Outside of bosses, though, we don't use it very much.
It's not really useful, from what I've seen.
Like, if it for bosses, it's absurdly useful, but...
Well, I mean, I meant like outside of that. Though.
Outside of that, because you end up stopping to do it.
Yeah.
Oops.
We don't want to stop.
All right, I'm gonna be a little careful here. So these acids that are falling actually do 2 damage, so I really don't want to get hit by that, because I have to do another damage boost up here. Then we'll grab this health. So this is another example of ledge clipping. I'm using it to jump up these platforms with skipping a couple of them. Saves you a bit of time. You see it a lot in this stage, actually, because there's lots of different opportunities to do ledge clips. I guess I should explain how they work. They work by basically moving towards a platform above you right at the peak of your jump, and you end up kind of clipping up. What's your favorite song in this, by the way, Flib? Because I know you've played this.
God. They're all so good.
I think Chapter 3 and 4 are my favorite. This one here is Chapter
4
3.
is up there, for sure.
Alright, so now we have these explosives that are going to be here. They indicate which way they're going to explode based on the flashing lights in the center. Another ledge clip. And we got some pretty annoying enemies that are coming up here. These guys are going to start dropping explosives as we get close to them. So I'm more or less just going to be killing them before they even get onto the screen because they're really annoying. And we got another boss here. This is the tank. That was actually a really good fight.
Yeah, tank's not too much trouble.
That fight can be really annoying because if you don't jump at the right moment, then you'll end up having the turrets shoot where you're standing. And it makes it a lot harder. Like, you just take way more time. Oh. So you might not think like much of this is like really dangerous, but like there's so many different things that can just straight up kill you in this. Like for
knock
example,
you into a pit, or
yeah, like those pits are all instant death.
Yeah.
Like
Fire,
these enemies, right?
Instant death.
Yeah, those enemies right there that were above those fire pits. If you just try and jump across them without killing those enemies, they'll drop like these missiles down and they'll hit you, and then you'll fall right into the pit, and it's super annoying. So we end up taking advantage of the shuriken a lot to hit switches a little sooner. It's one of the best things you can generally do with the shuriken. Or just like hitting some lanterns that have money in them, or not money, essence. That ends up being really beneficial because you use essence to buy the upgrades at checkpoints. And those upgrades are only available at that checkpoint. So this checkpoint coming up here, I'm actually going to buy what's called the Swag Blade. And this blade is going to be helping me out kill this boss here.
Oh, it's literally called the Swag Blade, huh?
Yes.
I had no idea.
And there was the first example of Rising Fire there. That's
Just
done
does
with
so much damage because each one hits, right?
Yeah, they do a lot of damage. So we actually use that on most bosses because it just does so much damage. All right, and now we're gonna get our next ability, which is actually probably one of the more fun abilities. You get the pogo attack, as I like to call it, or the down stab, and you can use that to drop really quickly, like this. Among several other things, you can use it to pogo off of enemies. You can use it when we get a bit further in the game to like reset your jump. That's not currently a thing I can do, but later I will be able to do that. Lots of benefits to it.
Extends your jump too, like to the right? Yeah.
Like if you use it at the peak of your jump, you actually jump even higher, so you end up using that a lot. So I just I hit the Swag Blade up there to hit an explosive that was above me, just to save me a little time when I go back up here. But for now, we're going into the Monkey Shrine.
I hate this monkey.
Yeah, this monkey's a jerk. He's mocking you.
He does every time.
So this is a little annoying with the Swag Blade, but I've more or less got it figured out as to how I'm going to do it. I need to make sure I do not hit this box, as I hit the box, of course, because I was going to use that to jump up. But it's not that big of a time loss. I say I got it figured out, and then I make the mistake anyway.
I know.
Don't you just love how that works out?
Yeah. I've got this all done. Easy. No, I do not.
I've got this on lock. Wait, how did I make the mistake if I've got it on lock? So now I have the ability to wall jump, as you can see. And it's going to allow us to progress into Chapter 4. I'm actually at a pretty good pace, too. But that doesn't matter much in this game, because the late game of this game is brutal.
It's awful. It's super brutal.
Alright, so we're going to be taking advantage of the down stab here to bounce off some enemies and throw a shuriken at the switch across the room. just to speed things up. And I'm going to be doing some damage boosts along the way here to the next switch on the other side of the room so that I can just kind of quickly die. This is pretty much the only intentional death I'm going to be taking. Just because I find this a little easier than doing this room optimally, because you have to do a really tricky pogo. So water is also interesting in this game too. I'll explain it while I'm going through this section. If you jump into water normally, like you kind of... Oops, that's not what I wanted. If you're jumping through water normally, what happens is you'll just kind of like sink into the water, but if you press jump right as you land in the water, you'll actually like stay right at the very top of it. And water slows you down in this game, so you want to be out of water as often as possible. Whoops. Alright, we're a little bit low on health, but that's fine. Gonna grab that SP there, just to make this section a little bit quicker. So there's a couple of sections like that in the game where you kind of go into like a cyber world. And usually you have to like destroy a computer or hit a switch or something like that. We'll end up going into 3 of them in this run. There are more, but those are the ones that we'll be entering because they are required to advance the game.
Hence the name Cyber Shadow, right?
Yeah. There's surprisingly also very little randomness in this game, too. There's a couple things that are random, but mostly everything is controllable, which makes this a very good speedrun. Actually, one of the only exceptions to like randomness is there's these purple enemies that we'll see a little bit later in the game, and the boss that we're coming up to here, because they are also random.
Oh, is it the dragon?
Yes, the dragon.
Yeah.
Mecha Dragon. Whoops.
Oh.
Okay, I messed up the room pretty badly, so we're gonna take it a little slow. I could do this the faster way, but I don't know where my cycle is right now, so we're just gonna take it a little easy. This game is very, very heavy, like, on cycles. For a lot of the rooms that have, like, rotating enemies or anything like that, you really have to make sure that you're doing the room pretty much the same way every time so that the cycles end up always being the same. Otherwise, things that you're not expecting will end up happening, and that's not fun.
Never is.
So these little squid enemies, they're also a little random. The small ones here, and this guy is also random and probably one of the most annoying enemies in the game. Those little snake heads.
That was very Castlevania of them to put that in. Man, that downward stab's just so nice. You can just flow through.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. Okay, I actually forgot to mention one thing, and I kind of want to mention it now that I remembered. So in this game, as I mentioned before, you use SP to like use your special abilities, right? Like your pogo or your shuriken or your rising fire or whatever, right? You actually don't get to control when you use SP. So if you have SP and you use one of those abilities, you will end up using SP to use it. There are unpowered versions of a lot of those attacks, but generally you're going to be using the powered version. So this is Mecha Dragon. He's a bit of a jerk. He can either do fast attacks or slow attacks here. We want him to do fast attacks. He's currently giving me the fast one. We're actually getting a pretty good pattern. I almost got a 2-cycle, which would have been really good.
Very close, yeah. So close.
All right, early 3 cycles really good, so we'll take that. All right, so now we have the Kuchi Shrine. We're going to be going in here and basically slashing a crystal a bunch. It's going to spawn some ninjas that we're not going to let them do anything. We're just going to kill them before they even hit the ground. Because if you let them hit the ground, they can like deflect your attacks and be really annoying. So we just deal with them before they become an issue. As you see, like this one here got to land on the ground. Actually, a lot of them got to land on the ground. I didn't get very good luck there. That actually does have some RNG aspects to it. Like where they end up spawning.
Yeah, because they can just sit there and block. They can just be like, oh, I'm just going to block all day.
Yeah, and like sometimes they can have them spawn like right on the far left side of the screen and then right on the far right side of the screen, which just makes it like basically impossible to kill them before they land. Okay, so now I'm actually coming into a very tricky section of the game. I'm going to be trying to carry this charge blaster weapon I have all the way from where I am currently to halfway through to the next chapter. So the way weapons work in this game is when you take a hit, I'm actually really scared. When you take a hit, your weapon loses health. When you've taken 3 hits total, you lose the weapon. So we're going to be doing everything in our power to not get hit here. Because any hits I take makes this harder. Whew. All right, so far so good. We're coming up to the defense system, which hopefully I can do this damageless. Very nice.
Good fight.
So this is actually really good, because initially the old strategy for this fight was actually just to tank 2 hits, and you only had 1 hit on the charge blaster for the entire rest of the section that you have to do here, carrying this through, which made it a lot more tense, just because if you got hit once, you lost it, and losing this actually loses you about 20 seconds. Because we'll end up using it to hit a switch across, or hit a switch through a door to save you having to go all the way around a room.
That's what you use it for.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I was like, why do you want to carry it again?
Well, hopefully I'll manage to actually carry it there so you can see. So now we have access to parrying. So anyone that's played Third Strike has a general idea of how parries work in this. You have to press forward right as you're about to like get hit by something. And if you do it correctly, then you'll be able to parry. This section of the game is also very scary because you have to do this basically without taking any damage, as I mentioned before, but also because all the checkpoints in this area do not restore health. So any hits you take are basically permanent until you get to the boss. Oops. That's not what I wanted, but that's okay.
These tricky little spikes.
One of the mechanics actually in this game involving parry is that you can get what's called a perfect parry as well, where if you parry basically like a couple frames before the ability hits you, it'll reward you with 1 SP. And that ends up being very useful. Alright, so I did successfully manage to carry the weapon to where I needed to get it to. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry this weapon over to this area, and I'm just going to hit this switch through the door. And that saves me having to go all the way around this room.
That's so cheeky.
And now we're going to lose it because I'm going to walk into this guy a bunch. Mostly because he would damage me otherwise, kind of like the Metroid in Super Metroid at the end, where like they damage down Samus to 1 HP. Same idea.
Little baby Metroid.
Little baby Metroid all grown up.
He's all grown up.
So I'm at
this
1
guy
HP.
too. He's strong.
This guy might as well be Samus. Look at it. He just did a Shine Spark. He just left the screen with a Shine Spark.
He's out. I got places to go. There's a sale. It's nice, hot platforming action.
So much
what I really
pogoing,
like.
too.
Yeah, that's what I really like about this game. It's got really nice platforming to it.
All right, so now I'm going to be buying probably the most busted weapon in the game called the SP dispenser. And it literally just feeds me SP. So I'm going to be abusing that maliciously. It just lets me, in general, have access to all my powerful attacks. And the further I get in, also, spoilers, I'm going to have a dash soon. To be able to dash around very quickly.
The dash is so cool.
Yeah, the dash is honestly like the most fun part of this game. At least to me. That little orb there that I released, sometimes it'll actually follow you all the way across the screen. It's pretty funny.
I was gonna say he got stuck, but this time.
Yeah, if I had destroyed 3 blocks there, he would have just followed me the whole way.
He just wants to be your friend.
Alright, so now we have Subject Alpha again. Whoops, that was a mistake. And we're just going to be pogoing a bunch on him, do a bunch of damage. And then one last hit to finish it off. So
that is not an easy fight either.
It's not. It's really not. So that thing I actually just walked past, that purple person, you have the option to just either kill them, like by walking, or just like slashing them and they die instantly, or you can just like walk past them and spare them, if you consider that to be sparing them, because like they're like, you know, they've turned into like a monster at that point. All right, so now we have dash. Dash is where the game gets really fun, so it's going to start getting very quick from here on out. I'm probably going to be talking a little less because it gets a little harder for me to concentrate now on commentary at the same time. I'll try my best, but hopefully Flib can cover me if I go quiet.
I got you. The dash is just really, really neat because it chains through enemies, right?
Yep.
As long as you got that SP feeding into you, like you can just keep dashing.
Let's see if I can get this parry. Yes, let's go. I always miss that parry. That one always causes me trouble. All right, and that's Research Lab. My splits didn't split, so I have no idea if that was a gold or not, but pretty good.
It felt gold to me. You're gold in our hearts.
So yeah, as you're gonna see, we're gonna be doing a lot of dashing now. Whoops. All right, I don't know what my laser cycle is gonna look like now, but that's okay. We don't really need that. Not in this room anyway. So this this area has these like lasers that if you run into them, it'll spawn this robot that will chase you around, as you're going to see here. he does 3 damage a hit, so he's really painful, and you do not want to get hit. So I'm actually going to do a couple of these rooms a little safely. Like this one here, I'm going to wait. Oh, of course, I'm going to mess up.
Ah, safely, yes. Now it's dangerous.
Oh, I'm dead. Okay, yeah. So if you get hit, like as you see, like there's insta kill spikes directly below me in a lot of these screens. So you just straight up die if you get hit. Pretty good though. I mean, that's my first death so far that wasn't intentional.
But yeah, this is where the speed comes in this run, which is what I really like.
Oh, this screen here goes pretty nuts if I do it right. Like you just go so fast. You have so
what screen?
Yeah, right.
I didn't see a screen there.
All right. So I have to kind of hear what's happening here, so I'm gonna just be a little quiet. This is tunnel cleaner. And we just kind of parry his shots right into him. And now there's going to be some robot guys that come out here. I'm going to damage boost off this one, hit it back, and then, well, that wasn't supposed to happen, but that's okay. He's going to die anyway, so
there you go.
I didn't die. He did.
Yeah. Good backup. Good backup.
Yeah, exactly.
Good backup.
my damage was a little off there. Let's just say that. I actually did one extra slash that I shouldn't have done because I actually got an extra hit that I didn't realize. Dash, please. Hello.
What is dashing?
So I'm only like 10 seconds behind my PB right now, so actually on a pretty good pace, despite that death.
It's not bad at all.
This, however, is probably the second hardest chapter in the game. So here's hoping this goes good.
God, this one sucks.
We have these door bosses, and they suck. We're going to have a couple of those that we have to fight. 2 of them, I believe, to be exact.
At least there's a checkpoint before this one, which is the harder one.
Yeah, that's honestly the scariest part right there. So I'm glad that
floating above those spikes that don't really look like spikes. That's a little baby door boss.
Yeah, that one can be annoying too, actually. If you don't parry the projectile that it fires out, the first one, you can't stand by it and just do up or rising fire slashes, which really sucks. This screen is honestly terrifying because those skulls move really quickly and they do 3 damage a pop. So we're picking up an SP dispenser that was available there. And we outie. All right, so that was a pretty scary part, but went pretty good. So pretty happy with that.
Right between the bubbles. What screens?
Little scary. Oh no, okay, I didn't want to lose that SP dispenser.
Oh no.
That's okay though. We don't really need it. It's just nice to have. And I'm gonna remember to hit this checkpoint because I've definitely not hit that before and died as a result, which was not fun.
That's so far back.
Yeah, you have to go really far back.
That's when a run turns into a practice run real fast.
Or a reset.
Or a reset, yeah. Hello, Harry?
I kept missing my my slashes there. We're all good,
Those
though.
guys are really annoying because they just don't stop firing.
Yeah. All right, and now we are getting the final upgrade in the game, which is basically all of our abilities are going to be made stronger now. We are going to have a level 3 sword. We got the level 2 one at Mecha Dragon. We're going to have stronger abilities from being able to charge them now, which means that we can do like charge rising fire, charge shuriken, charge dash attack, all this kind of fun stuff. We don't really use it too much. Really, the only reason we actually have to come here, otherwise we would skip this entire part. We'd actually go right from like chapter 6 to chapter 9. Is that we need the ability to destroy level 3 doors. And this is
that's right. That's what you also get from that too. I forget that.
Yeah. So as you can see, now I'm able to charge my attack and I can destroy this door that I otherwise would not have been able to. That was a gold.
That was a good stage.
So now we're in the actual hardest chapter of the game. This is a 10-minute slogfest of a chapter that just has a ton of really difficult screens that if they go wrong... It
doesn't stop. It just keeps going. You think it's going to end, then it doesn't end.
Really...
So many enemies.
And there's just a ton of ways to die.
Yeah, there's no ground anymore. It is now exclusively spikes.
Pretty much. Or pits.
And pits. Yeah, here's the pit section. And this is the last of the cyber sections, yeah?
Yep, this is the last one here. That was actually really good.
That was smooth.
Usually that room actually gives me a lot of trouble. All right, and now we have Exo. Exo's a motorbike. He's going to be joining us in this next auto-scroller section.
Yeah. Except it's cooler because you have a bike now.
Yeah. I mean, auto-scrolling sections are like 20% cooler just from having a bike, right?
It's true. Final Fantasy VII did it right, too.
So, a couple ways you can die here. Obviously, falling into pits is one way. Running into a wall instantly kills you. So we're going to be doing our best to avoid that for the first part, which we did. And this next part is just kind of killing off enemies as they come into the screen so they're not causing me any trouble. If you actually play this, there is a feat for doing this entire bike section without taking any damage. It's kind of like an in-game achievement.
Good luck.
Can be a bit of a pain in the butt. Like, I mean, I just took damage there because I did that wrong, but hey, you know, it just goes to show how hard it is, right?
Exactly.
And you can probably notice that enemies stop joking around at this point. Like, they all hit generally for like 2 or 3 damage. So I really only get, depending on like the enemy, a couple of hits before I die. Like, at this point, I die in 3 hits from 3-hit enemies. All right, so overall, we're doing pretty good so far. This next section is going to get really hard after I've done the next Exo section that's coming up. So I'm hoping it goes good. It might not, but we're hoping. So yeah, I actually forgot to mention another mechanic thing here. So as I mentioned, using your abilities causes you to use SP. But in the case of the dash, there's actually some additional rules. If you kill an enemy with a dash, you get refunded SP. This also counts for any kind of like boxes that would drop money. They'll also drop SP if you kill the box with the dash. So you can use that to refill your SP a lot. If you don't have the SP dispenser. Ideally, I would like to have the SP dispenser all the way to this point, but doesn't always necessarily pan out that way. So now we got this big mothership that we're going to be unloading into as EXO. Doesn't take too much to take down. Usually
good
kill
little mash fest here.
Yeah, pretty much.
No NES game is complete
without
mashing. Yeah.
And then we're just kind of on our merry way. So we're almost finished with the EXO section now. We just got this one last screen to go through here. We're actually going to just kind of damage boost through it, so we don't have to wait. Because we're going to get our health back in just a moment anyway, only to lose it immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
So Apparator has shown up again. And he's like, haha, I've got you. And then wants to destroy EXO, so just slams EXO into the wall, and, well, the rest is, yeah. Goodbye, EXO. Just, as if it wasn't enough, just, like, laser beam from the sky, right?
Poor guy.
And somehow we're perfectly fine, so EXO saved us somehow. We just still have 1 HP, despite having just hit a checkpoint. And of course, this checkpoint here doesn't refill your health, so I'm actually going to be using a save and quit to bring my health back to 5, because you always default to 5 HP when you save and quit. So instead of buying the health, we're doing that. This section, however, is still incredibly dangerous. It's very, very easy to die here. This is actually probably like one of the most dangerous sections in the game. This next upcoming screen especially, right here. If I do this wrong, I'm dead. Okay, we're good, we're good.
Oh, so puckered.
We're gonna wait for the laser. Ooh, God. I figured. Yeah. That's okay. That's not the worst death. I lost my SP dispenser, which kind of sucks, but it's not the worst. We're just playing a little safe, you know? Let's not die here.
I mean, those enemies are basically designed to throw you into pits. That's what they're there for. They do their job very well.
Okay, and now we're coming into the next dangerous screen, which honestly, like, this is the part of the game I'm most terrified of. Just because it's so easy for things to go very, very wrong here. I'm actually doing this a slightly easier way, just so I don't die.
This section sucks.
Yeah, this is honestly, like, even casually, this is probably where I had the most trouble.
Same. That's what I was about to say. Casually, this was the worst part for me. Just because, man, everything's in your way. Everything is in your way.
Went pretty good,
and
though.
And not a save station for a long time.
Yeah, the closest one is actually on this screen here. If you go and hit the special one that's, like, to the right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was Return to Mecha City, which actually went quite good. I am now a minute ahead of my PB, so that's pretty sick.
Oh, heck yeah.
Now it's just a matter of whether or not I can pull docks together and orbital. Oh, I'm damaging here. Don't hit me.
Run!
Okay, so I have 2 HP. That's kind of not good. I have to be very, very careful here so I don't die. Yeah, I'm playing this very safe just so I don't die because there's a checkpoint right after the next screen.
The checkpoint's right there on the next screen. This screen is fun. That dash just gives so much movement.
It really does. It's really fun to use, too. Okay, so that was actually fairly good docks. So now we have another kind of auto-scroll section where we're on a boat. I'm on a boat.
Look at me!
So this is kind of like the same idea as the crystal that we had earlier, where we just kind of don't want to let anything hit the ground. So we're just going to kill these guys, like, literally the moment they enter the screen with the dash. Because they can be very, very annoying, especially the purple ones, because they spawn flames when they die, and those flames take forever to go away.
They stay on the screen forever.
So
when they shoot, they fire. They go backward too.
Yeah. So there's another weird thing about this auto scroller. And if anyone actually figures this out, please let me know. Sometimes at the end of this auto scroller, you can end up waiting less time. It's like sometimes it goes really quickly, and then other times it like takes forever. So I'm hoping it goes quickly because it saves a lot of time when it does. So we're hoping for this to be over in like 4 seconds from here. Just go. But it looks like we're getting a long boat. Sometimes this just takes forever, and I have no idea what causes it.
That's so weird. Just gotta go a little bit longer. It wasn't there yet.
All right, and now we're in the final chapter of the game, where all runs go to die. So let's hope that it goes good. Okay, that was really close. If I had actually been any slower there, the boss would have started regenerating his health. Because you're supposed to actually destroy his hands first there. And I don't want to do that, because it's slow.
Doing bosses as intended? No, that's slow, man.
And we're going to buy an SP recovery there, so we have full SP for this section, because we're going to be doing a lot of dashing. And here comes the YOLO screen. I tried.
I like that. Here comes the YOLO screen.
I had to try. We're going to try one more time.
I feel it.
Okay. I didn't get it, so we're going slow. That's okay.
You were so close too.
Ooh, that was a little. So I'm not actually.
Ran away.
I have to be really careful because I actually don't know the pattern when I don't get that screen right.
There we go.
Okay, that one good too. That's another scary screen because all of those things are instant kills. If I miss that, I'm just dead. All those electric fields. Here's another scary screen. Hopefully I get it. Normally you're meant to wait for an elevator here, but you can just zoom across the screen. Like, you don't have to wait. Who actually wants to wait when they're speedrunning, right?
Never. It's not an option.
That was too slow. Okay, this is actually been really good. I'm just gonna kind of take advantage of these guys here and use them to get my SP back. Or at least as much of it as I can, right before we go into the next fight, which is going to be Spider Rail. Spider Rail, you got to hit in the center eye to do damage to them. There is a faster way to do this fight. I haven't learned it yet, so we're kind of just going with this.
And who doesn't love bosses with invulnerability? Come on.
Okay, that went pretty good. Yeah, so that's actually one of the reasons that you can do that fight faster is you can skip that invulnerability if you do it a different way. I just don't know how it works. All right, so basically only have 4 more screens left before the final boss, and they're all hard, with the exception of this one. So here we go.
No, this one looks difficult. Oh, man.
Okay, that's the first hard one. Second one. And third one, very nice. All right, so now I end up buying SP Dispenser and Spirit Recovery, and we're off to fight the final fights.
Those were cool screens. Holy crap. The vertical ascension speed. Whew.
So you can probably notice by now, dash attack is busted. It's really, really good.
I was like, well, he had health. You failed me yet again, Starscream.
All right, here we go.
Was that fire attack coming in just clutch?
And last part of the fight. So normally you're like, if you're playing this like regularly, you would destroy all the orbs that you see there because they all kind of benefit you. But we don't do that because it's much faster to just use that orb to go up and hit the boss. Normally that one would spawn like a platform to let you hit him when he's higher up there. This went really good, by the way. This is going to be a new PB for me.
That was a good run. Great run.
So the world record for this game is actually like, I think it's like 57 something right now, like 57:20. I don't know. I have to go look. Help me out, Flib. Go check and see what the record is right now. So the world record would be done right about now, and I had what, 2 deaths that weren't intentional?
You had 2, yeah. Show me.
And I had like 1 screen I had to do slowly because I made some mistakes. But
57:35.
yeah, so this is
in-game time is 53:15.
This is pretty good because I'm currently gonna probably finish this at 58:30.
That's really good.
Because really all we got left now is these are the elementals. They're gonna be like, okay, you're turning into the fire elemental now. So and we're like, okay. So we jump in here, and now we're this elemental dude. I missed the last shuriken. Dash! All right.
Dash!
And that is time.
Nice
Wow, that went really good. That was a new PB. 58:35.
Wow.
Heck yeah!
It's funny.
Let's go!
I spent like 2 weeks trying to get a sub 59, and then of course I pulled it off in a race.
Wow.
Not like a race, like a showcase. So yeah, that went really good.
That's our second PB tonight.
Let's go!
Let's go.
On 2 games that both of the runners gave me about a 10 to 15 minute variance that that could happen. And
Yeah,
what did they do? They both PB'd. Wow. Way too cool. Well, Carter Free, great job. Oh man.
Thank you very much.
I'm assuming, did you locally record that?
I did not know.
Okay.
So I'm probably going to be grabbing this from your your stream at some point.
All right. I was going to say, because there is one spot where my internet went 0 for a split second and then immediately went right back to stream. So I don't know. That should be good, but